Well, this is it. This is the end of the operating session. Today's video is going to be about the Water Street Spur. In reality, I call it the Riverside Street Spur because it ran down Riverside Street. We're going to switch standard elevator and the pole yard. Good morning, everybody. Happy day after the 4th of July, even though I'm narrating this on July 3rd. In the kitchen with the back door open, so you might hear the birds. So I caught up with the yard engine right when he was pulling out of the yard. Has one covered hopper for standard elevator, and of course the flat car full of poles. Got oatmeal and coffee this morning, and I spilled part of my oatmeal putting it in the microwave. Hope the day gets better. I moved that Ford tractor down here next to standard elevator. It used to be next to Union Spring. I thought this was a better spot for it. In theory, it's probably big enough they could actually move a car with it. I don't know if they had a method of moving cars, standard elevator. If they did, it was a tractor or a backhoe or something like that. They did not have a trackmobile. It wasn't a big enough operation. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to spot the flat car full of poles. We can't put it in the final location because that would interfere with our switching, but we can push it down almost to the end of the spur, get it out of the way. I'm not on the deck this morning because we are on the back porch because we're having our deck rebuilt. It was over 20 years old and getting in kind of bad shape in places, even with my yearly maintenance. So it's pretty much a disaster on the back porch and the backyard right now, but demolition is done. Hopefully you're going to see a lot of progress today toward the new deck. So obviously we're going to have to run around the covered hopper. And I don't know if this was poor planning or just the way it worked out, but there's not enough room on the tail track there when I've got a flat car full of poles to switch two cars into the standard elevator. So we're going to go ahead and pull the empty first. Or actually the loaded car, the loaded hopper. My wife and I are trying to develop a habit of walking in the evening when the weather cooperates. Last night we walked almost 2 miles. That's the longest we've gone. I tried to get a lot of close-ups of the elevator while I was doing the switching, but the depth of field just isn't that great on the iPhone, even with the good camera. So it's hard to keep everything in focus. So this is what I was talking about a minute ago. In real life, I would have liked to have just held on to the B&O hopper and backed up and picked up the other covered hopper, but I don't have enough space with the flat car there. Another problem is that where I had to put the B&O hopper, it's fouling that switch, so I will have to move it again before I can run around it. From what I'm hearing on Facebook, the paper mill in Chillicothe is shut down for all intents and purposes. The paper machines are turned off. They've made their last roll of paper. Of course, there's still a lot of stuff to ship and process. So I think the actual closing date is a month away, but there's no more paper being produced. It's the first time in like 175 years or something like that. It'd be kind of weird to go up there and see everything, no smoke, steam, sounds coming from the mill. I've never seen it. Actually, nobody alive has. So. That other tractor is a present from my friend Fran. And again, I just thought it'd be a better spot here. It's been hanging out at Ohio Firebrick. I thought this would be a better location for it. Stand up next to the door. I think I hear a Norfolk Southern train coming. Yep, there's one coming southbound. So now we can put the flat car with poles in the proper location. It's loaded with 40-foot poles, so it'll be the rack closest to you. Oh, I forgot to edit one out. It's amazing how some trains seem so much louder than others. Or it's just the prevailing winds or what is. This one's pretty loud. So now we're running around the covered hopper. Let's see if he blows in North Hamilton. Jazzy's wandering around the mud pit where the deck was. Of course, there's no grass or anything underneath it. So we're not going to show taking the car back to the yard and everything. This does complete this operating session. So what we will do next week is we're going to get into JMRI and we're going to build the 4 interchange trains, and we'll start switching for that. I've made a few adjustments to the pattern, and I'll talk about that next week. Hope everybody has a safe and happy 4th of July, and see you next Saturday.